Good evening and welcome back to Astro Colony, where we are going to pick up exactly where we left off at the end of the last episode. We can bring this onwards here, we can bring this one onwards here, and now we have an iron belt and a copper belt. If these belts back up for whatever reason, then this will just let everything go into here, so we will use up all of our iron and copper and things. So we need to have a thing that turns this off. For reasons, like at certain levels, we need to have it turned off because we don't want all our resources to go down here. So we'll definitely have to do that. It's kind of awkward to do that with logic because if I turn those filters off, then anything comes out of them. So that's why I've left the gap, because I am smarter than the average hedgehog. And if we put blockers here, like this, and then we just turn them off for a minute. Very difficult to see. Well, not very difficult to see if a block is turned off, but it's more difficult than it looks. It's more difficult than not because they're red. So now they will let everything through. If they're blocked, they will stop letting everything through. So if we say, let's grab a machine. This episode has gone on way longer than I expected it to go on, but do you know what? I'm going to continue on because I want to get this done for this episode. We want a constructor or two, or... No, do you know what? We can do this with one constructor. Yeah, we can do this with one constructor. Not ideally with one instructor, but we can do it with one instructor. Constructor, not instructor. Constructor. Although it's on the wrong side. Kind of awkward. There are certain inputs and outputs on this thing. But that's just the way it is there. I should do it with multiple constructors. Really. But we'll do it with one. We'll see how well this goes. Let's put in... Sorry, I'm spinning around everywhere to try and... Let's put it in... Okay, now there's no... Put it in here. There's no merger block. So there's no way to make sure that this belt, then this belt, then this belt, then this belt. There's no way to do that. So... It might prioritize one thing over the other to start with, but it will all balance eventually. I am in fact going to move that forward by one, and I'm going to use the iron belt because the iron belt was longer by a couple of blocks. So I'm going to use the iron belt. So we'll put that there, and then we'll put this here. We could put it back here. Would make a difference where we put the merge to it. Doesn't matter, but I'll do that. So then we've got a bit more of a buffer of copper, should we say? Okay. You are going to do, I want gold plates as well. We'll figure gold plates. We'll add gold plates to this later. You're going to do iron plates, gold plates, and that plate. Okay, that's fine. And then we're going to probably want to go back into storage or a different storage. We could do a different storage, or we could rotate this round. No. And now I can't rotate it any further because it's not on its proper access. So I do want to have it here. But its power is... Oh, we can put it down there. Let's do that. It says about having a nice long input, and then I'm going to chop it off. So we'll put it here, like that. And then we're also going to have to rotate that guy. Because it's going to have to be that way instead. Okay, there we go. Right, I am cramming stuff in. I should not be doing this. I know. We can do that. There you go. There is a second entrance there as well, so you can have multiple things coming in from different places. But okay. So what are we going to do here? We're going to have an output on the outside of this. Do that. Okay, and anything you produce. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm also going to have another output here with a bit of logic, with a filter, boom, like that. And this is going to be filtered to gold bars. And this is going to have belts there. I'm not putting the final bit of belt in, like to start the system running yet, because I don't want to do that. I'm fine with converting all the gold bars. I don't think we need them. We need a couple to make a recycling machine. Probably 3. So let's do that. In fact, you know what? Let's build a recycling machine. Let's just put one down somewhere. Unless I have one in my... No, I don't have one in my Yeah, I'm just gonna put it down here. And that will take anything we have in our inventory and we can redo it. So we want to redo the Astro Catcher, and we'll keep the harpoon connectors for the moment. I think we might redo some of the foundations. I might get rid of those. You see, it gives you back those components. So we get loads of iron rods if we redo the foundations. I don't need foundations. There is a possibility that at some point you will need foundations before you put floors on them, but we can always remake the foundations. So let's put all our foundations in there, as well as these corner pieces here. I'm going to build the whole thing out of walls and floors, so it'll be thin. And the idea of having it thin is so that cables can run through it. So, yeah. So let's do that. There you go. You are now grabbing something. Are we good for power? We're 90% load. We're good. Okay, and you will just make the things. There you go. Awesome. Cool. We got another tutorial thing done. Yay. Okay, so yeah, so this is doing it. So what we'll do is we want to have a couple of logic blocks, and I have no space to do this. No space to do this. This was very, very foolish of me to build in this place here. So let's not do it here instead. Hold on. Let's move this up to there. I think that's the best I can do while still having the input. That, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could output that side and just bring the belt around. It wouldn't hurt. We could also build another warehouse on the back and have just two warehouses. It doesn't matter. I might build a second warehouse. This is getting a little bit. It's too much. It's too much in too small of a space. I will build into a terrible corner, wreck everything, and then complain because I don't have enough space. Let's line it up with the center and put it there, because we originally wanted to put it in line with the thing. And then I'm just going to rotate this one. There you go. So they all join in the center there, and then they go down to the end. Awesome. Okay, you will do the plates. That's fine. You need power, which is here. Power. We'll go underneath anyway, so I might as well click and hold to just get it underneath. Oh, there's power directly underneath here anyway. Hey, look at that. Nice. Okay, we're probably hitting our power load as well now, I would think. 90% power still. Okay. 27 out of 30. Okay. We could also power this guy off at certain levels as well. We do that. We can't operate two machines from the same signal block, unfortunately. But we could build another signal block here. Signal blocks are free anyway, so let's do that. Let's connect that there. It's connected to the same thing. So you see, it's already done that. It's got all of its logic exactly the same. It's all doing the same thing. And all we do is just select this and click this guy like that. And it's powered down. So there we go. So our oxygen tanks drop based on this guy. This uses oxygen over time. It doesn't tell you how much it uses oxygen. But if this drops below 10, it will power on. This will power on. Everything will start running. And then as soon as it gets above 10, it will power off. And then it will power on again. I might actually change that. I might change this to be... Right. Okay, so, right. Wait. You take 20 seconds and use 4 water, and in 20 seconds you will produce 20 water. So in 20 seconds you've got 20 water in there, and then 20 water for 4 is 5. You'll go up to 15. So this one I want to change to be 15. If you're below 15, you turn off. If you're above 15, you turn on. And that should balance. So you'll enable when it gets below 10, but you'll turn on when you get to less than 15. And if you get above 15, you'll turn off again. Otherwise, this is going to run for 20 seconds when this runs once and then shuts down. And then this will just start filling. That way, this turns on, produces 20 water, and then turns off because this will be up to 10. And then this goes up to 15 and then shuts off. And then from 15 goes down, and then it will consume all the water. So we can get rid of that tank there, and it will be balanced, as all things should be. Okay, so let's grab another one of these guys. In fact, we can do that. If we grab this guy here, yoink. Thank you very much for all the copper rods. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's put you here. Let's grab a... Oh, I need to flip your input and outputs. There you go. Grab a belt. And just one thing. I don't need to do two, but we'll, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so what we're going to do with the logic here is we're not going to read this building. We're going to read the storage. If the storage has above, let's say, I don't know, 100 plates in it, here, then it will turn off. If there's 100 iron plates in it, it will turn off the iron line. If it has more than 100 copper, it will turn off the copper line. That does mean our research is tied to how many plates we have. But there's no way for me to read how much research we have. So, yeah, I'm not really sure on that one there. Another thing I have done in the past is actually have these blockers set that if the iron ingots drop below a certain amount, that's when they block. And then so that, you know, if we've got too many iron ingots, it will go into the research and become research. And if we've got too many iron plates, we then stop the iron plates here. So then it all sort of, you know, the only thing that was running would be the research. So yeah, we could do that. Another little trick as well you can do is you can read the inventory of buildings, and if you say, hey, you've got less than 2 iron bars and 2 copper bars in you, power down, so you're not consuming 5 electricity a go. Not a lot. 5 electricity is not a lot, but it could help you. It could help keep your power grid running. You know, the power, there's no point in the laboratory being on if it hasn't got any research inside it, if they don't get anything to do. If there's no materials to run, there's no point in you being enabled. So, you know, do the same here. You could say, hey, if you don't have iron, copper, or gold in you, power down, save me 4. Kind of like what I've done here with things. So, if you don't have one of these, power down. You can turn machines off quite easily that sort of way. So, also, you very much could have the asteroid catchers on a system as well, where, you know, if you've got too much ore, they shut down. That's kind of pointless though, because the one smelter can easily keep up with about 4 or 5 asteroid catchers, maybe even more. So, yeah. Okay. So, what do I want to do here? We want to have a couple of logic blocks in here. Let's go with more logic. More logic, make it very logical. So, I'm going to have one logic block here. Now, bear in mind, you do need to be able to see your targets when you're doing them. So, if we put one logic block here, and we want to have 2 logic blocks, one here and one here. Okay, so you are the inventory sensor. So let's pick a device that. Okay, and you're going to read iron plates and copper plates. Okay, you can read both at the same time. That's fine, and it will receive different figures for them. So if I put my iron and copper plates in there, and we go back into here, you see it reads the different numbers for them. So they're not combined, they are separate. We then put in a piece of cable there, and we go, you are going to read copper plates. And if you are below, no, we got a blocker. So it's the other way around, isn't it? If you are above, let's say 100, okay, then you will turn on a device. And that's what we do. We want to turn on the blocker. So we pick a device. It unfortunately moves us to here, so you have to kind of find it. So I'm going to look down there. I can see the blocker. It says in the top left corner, top right corner, sorry, it says blocker. So I click that there. Well, that's the only kind of restriction to logic, is that you need to see things. So we're above 100, so therefore it has turned that on. Turn the blocker on. So now the blocker is blocking. So a piece of iron ingots will come up here. Let's do that. Boom. Yep, boom. An iron ingot has come out and stopped because it can't go any further. Not allowed to go any further. Okay. If I take these from here, boom, the iron ingots go, and yes, they do. Not sure why it sent 1 forward first. I'm probably going to do 9 that way and then 1 forward. And this is going to do a lot as well. This is going to send a lot into here. So it's going to go. It's going to be funny. But there you go. Boom. It has now. It is now. This has made some iron plates. Let's see. Because there was more on the line and more in this storage before we actually got to do it, we're going to get more than 100 copper plates before the actual system does shut down. But you got a bit of a buffer. That's not a problem. It's a lot actually. The buffer's going to be 120. Oh, it makes 2 a go, doesn't it? Ah, okay. So yeah, we're getting about 20%. Well, we're getting about 20 more than we'd like, or we want. Maybe 30 more. Actually, now looking at this, I'm probably going to get 30 more than we want. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. Having a little bit of an oversight's not that. If you want to get exact numbers, you have to figure out the distances here and how much is going to come down here by the time the system all does things. And so you do a test run like this. We now know when this is all done and finished. You finished your one there. Bum, bum, bum. We ended up with 134 plates. So it made 35 plates more. Because remember, we took it down to 99. Made 35 plates more. So therefore, if we actually want to have 100 plates, we would then go, I want 65. Change this number here to 65. If it drops below 65, enough iron ingots will come out to produce up to 100 plates. So, but 100 is a good enough number for me. I'm fine with that. You're going to read copper plates, and you're going to be the same, 100. And then we're going to change this to be this guy here. Can I see this? Yes, I can. Click. There we go. You will still be disabled. Yeah, you are disabled, or you're enabled, I should say. Now, remember, the condition is that if this is true, then the device is on. So if you want to turn a building off, you have to set this to be less than, or less than or equal to, or if it's not this certain number, then you want it to be true. So you could say, hey, if it's not, I don't know why you want to use a not, but if it's not got exactly 2 in there, put more in. I'm not quite sure why you'd want to do that, but you've got the option for it. There's you know, it's a very simple logic system, but it's powerful. It's simple but powerful. So the top 2 are going to be the ones you mainly use. You might use less than or equal to, maybe, but equals would be okay. But then if an extra one came in there, if you said, oh, if it's got to be 100. It could get 110, 150 or whatever, and it would continue going because it's not. So, yeah. But that's all working off one system. So, boom, there you go. And if our copper or iron plates drops below 100 or whatever, we will unblock them and let them go. I'm actually going to increase these both to 500 because I know full well that we want a lot of copper and iron plates. Boom, there you go. That's letting them out there. You're not letting this one out here because I haven't actually connected it. I forgot about that. Boom, there you go. So copper and iron is coming out. You're going to get some things. You're not going to get a lot, actually, because, yeah, you're just not. You will get more than one bar compared to the other one, just simply because that's how it works. You will use more than one material to the other one, so this system isn't perfect. It does look like they actually do separate. They do share mostly, so that's cool. Okay, and then we'll convert all of our gold as well. That can be done, and we're not fussed about the gold. The gold can just all get converted. You're still doing your thing here, which is awesome. Loads of stuff here. Nice. Loads of cable and piping. I like the rod. I like the rods. Very good. Okay. And then you'll fill up to 500. Then when you fill up to 500, you will just stop the whole system, and then the ingots will continue to fill. So, yeah. As I said, we could have a system set up here where these blockers are like on top of here, so that when it blocks, it just sends stuff into this one here, and then we have another set of logic that will read the same thing. You can set these to be multiple, but you can't set multiple values for them. So I can't say, hey, if you've got less than 500 of this or less than so many iron, like this one here, so many iron, then stop. But then what you do is we just have a blocker here and here, and the same sort of logic set up for this thing here, and go, hey, if you've got more than so many in there, don't accept any more. Continue what you're doing, don't accept any more, and the stuff will just sit on the belts and stop. So we could do that. We could do that right now, actually, to be honest with you. If you've got more than 2 in you or whatever, then do that. And also, if you've got less than 2, if you've got more than 2 iron, then turn on. If you've got less than 2 iron, turn on. And then we'd have another one saying if you've got less than 2 iron and less than 2 copper, power down. Shall we do that? That's I've never done that. I've never done that build. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let me grab a blocker. So I'm going to put a blocker there and a blocker there. They're both disabled for the minute. That's fine. Let's grab. I'm just middle clicking to grab a quick block. So let's put that there. You're kind of in the way now because we want to use this space for logic. So let's pick you up. Let's actually move you. I don't need to middle click. I don't need middle click. I want to get a brand new one. So we'll put you. In fact, we'll put you here. Okay, like that. And then we're going to have 3 different deciders here with a pipe in the center. Okay, you are going to read, pick a device, this guy, and you're going to want to read iron and copper. Okay, you are going to read iron and copper, and the device will currently be off. So if you have, what have you got inside you right now? So it would currently be off, so that's correct. So if it's got more than 2, if copper net is more than 2, off. More than 2? Do you have more than 2 inside you? No, you've got 1 inside you. Why would you say you're off? Because this is, no, yeah, because it's false. Yeah. Boop, there you go. So it's turned it off, okay? But as it gets iron and copper inside it, we should see, hopefully. Oh, no. Ah, this is where I need to use the more than equal to. Okay. Ah, so it's consumed the 2 for the recipe, but then shut down because they're no longer in the inventory. Right. Okay. So we actually want to set this to 4 then. Okay. Greater than or equal to 4. No, we want to set it to. It's got to be 2. It's got to be 2, which means it's got to wait for the next group, and then once it's got them in here, it will start processing the previous one, and then it will consume the next ones, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of awkward, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Right. And I don't know why I'm turning it off. I'm just being very like let's save as much power as you can possibly do. So yeah, we don't need to do that, but yeah. So I'm going to grab a blocker and I'm going to put the blocker there and I'm going to put a blocker there. Okay, and then I'm going to go to you and I'm actually going to change you. So instead of being that blocker, we're going to be the top blocker. And I'm going to change you. So instead of being that blocker over there, you're going to be this one here. Okay, and then we'll get rid of this blocker and this blocker. And then it's going to break. Why is it going to break? That's weird. Hit the top one. I'm not quite sure why that failed there when I removed it from the old. I don't know. How strange. Oh well. Right. You are going to be copper. So 2. If you are greater than 2, then off. And you're going to be iron. And if it's greater than 2, then that's off. Okay. So if you have more than 2 in you. Oh wait. Yeah. If you have more than 2 in you, we turn off the. So we click this here and we click you. And we click you here. I push F on that, and then we click that, and it brings up the menu and resets your camera, which is a little annoying. So, okay, so now we're no longer accepting any copper. Okay, so and now we are accepting copper, and now we're not accepting copper. So yeah, there's going to be one like in buffer before that, and this is I don't think this is going to run perfectly well. But what will happen is that when this fills up to 500 copper, for instance, all of our copper will stop going that way, and we'll go this way instead. So then we stop this so it doesn't end up overfilling full of stuff. So yeah, we got 3 in there for some reason. Oh yeah, because I said more. Oh, more than or equal to. You are more than or equal to. So if you have 2 or more, stop. So now they should have turned on. There you go. Boom. That's opened. Oh. Oh. Okay. So it turns out that I am wrong with splitters. I'm glad I found this right at the end of the episode. I thought splitters, if they cannot split one way, that they will allow resources to pass through them. Like if you can't send it left, you will send it right. But no, they keep solid split. Okay. Okay. So all this is going to do is slow down the amount of time that this takes to run. So I want to change this then. So I kind of want to leave this bit here that turns this machine on and off as we need it. But what I want to do is I want to say, hey, if we've got less than so many copper ingots and stuff, that's when I want to block them out. So I need to change this up. Do we want to continue disabling it? It's only like 3 power when it's turned on. It's 5 power when it's turned on. So. Yeah, see, this is blocked here as well, so this can't go forward anymore. Right, okay, that is not gonna work. That is not gonna work. I guess we can use pushers instead. No, even pushers don't let anything by if they're blocked. Oh, okay. Okay, I need to reevaluate my logic looking. I genuinely thought that if it backs up, then a pusher will allow resources to go by. But it does not. Okay. Okay. What if I filter this to be copper? Will that? No. Okay. Okay. So I need to reevaluate. I might be mixing my games up. I might be mixing my games up with one logic system works differently to the other one. I always kind of felt that pushers should do that. Although you are pushing everything off, so you probably wouldn't want them to do that. So that makes sense. Use the timer to push resources. Okay, we could use those and have them push for so long, and then when they're not pushing, let's try a timed. Let's try a timed one, shall we? I've not used these before. Let's select for 10 seconds. Okay, so for 10 seconds you push this way, and then what happens when you run out of time? Just not push? Do you disable? Do you what? What do you do? I don't know. I don't know how you work. Uses timer to push resources on a conveyor belt or a transport pipe. Okay. Can we say 1 second so I can see it working? How do you reset that? How do you reset that? I do not know. You are working. You are not working, however. Turn on for 5 seconds and then you turn off for a second. What? Oh, you push one resource and then you reset? Is that the way you work? Oh, we are learning things. We are learning things. So if I did that instead, and then set you to say 5. No, not 50, 5. No, 5, please. Thank you. 5. Okay, so you will turn on and push one forward, which won't happen. And then you turn off for 5 seconds, and then you turn on for 1 block, and then you go another 5 seconds, and then you turn on for 1 block. But if you can't set that block forward, that just breaks everything. Okay. I need to look at logic a little bit better here. We may need a actual independent feed from storage for this building here. Because it looks as if we can't, like right now, this is all stopped completely. It's not sending stuff its way here. We've hit the 500 mark on these guys anyway. So this is all stopped with 690 copper plates. Oh, wow. Wow. That makes sense, because this does not run as fast as the belt inputs. So you will get ridiculous amounts more than you would do. But once it's balanced, once it fills up above that level, once you come below it, you should only get a couple of extra in there before it restarts again. So, but okay, so we're trying to push forward. We push forward 1 block every 5 seconds. So that's how a timer pusher works, which is interesting. And then obviously we block if this has got more than so many in there. But we'll chat. Okay, next episode, I will look at logic a bit better next episode. More logic. There'll be a couple of episodes of logic. We've had a couple of episodes of logic. There may be more. Because that does not work the way I expected. But as I said, I might be confusing my games. I think another game, I think Factory Town had a pusher, a puller, and then there was another block that was like a forced pusher, which is what these are. These are forced pushers. So if they cannot push something or they cannot split, they just stop. It's not what I expected. So we may have to have just a dedicated line going to this, and then dedicated lines coming out of here going to this, which isn't the end of the world. There's plenty of inputs and outputs on this guy, so we'll be fine. And when we come to build everything later, we'll split everything off. We'll have a dedicated copper line, a dedicated iron line with storage and everything going on there. So I'm just kind of... I like logic. I love this kind of logic things. Anyone who watched my Factory Town playthroughs back when I did like the grand stations and things with the trains, I used a lot of, not complicated, but a lot of in-depth logic to get trains to go to their destinations depending on what was needed, when, where and how. So yeah, I like doing this sort of thing because I want to be not efficient with my resources, because resources are infinite, but actually, yeah, I want to be efficient with my resources. I want to have this many iron bars, this many copper bars, this many this many other, so if we go below 500 copper bars, then we'll convert stuff, but before that, don't. So there's always stuff in stock. That's the idea, and you have to start at the top of the tree. Like you have to start with the ore gets converted to bars, so we have to go, right, if there's 500 bars, then you can process the bars to whatever you want. And if there's 500 plates, then you can process the plates to whatever you want, so on and so forth. So, yeah. So this kind of logic system isn't going to be the final one. It'll more be, if this is full, then I'll let you out. Otherwise, this goes there, and then if this is full, then we'll let you out. And we'll just process everything up to that point. So, but anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again in the next one, where I will look at more logic, and I'll probably change the logic up to be that puller system instead, the request the previous one instead. That works better. But until then, as always, have fun.